your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good thing to say? I doubt it is stand-up. I have any disrespect for you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to a special episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, all of the places where you can hear podcasts. Before I bring in my fabulous guest, just a couple of stand-up gigs to promote. In a couple weeks, I'll be in Minnesota for the very first time, headlining the Great River Bowl and Partners Pub in Sartell, Minnesota, featuring Lila Hart, and the great Nick Ricada will be there doing comedy as well. I know, I'm excited. Then I'll be back on Long Island, headlining the Brokerage out in Belmore, October 27th and 28th. Back to Florida, headlining the Tampa Side Splitters Sunday, December 3rd, and San Diego, the first weekend of the new year. Can't believe it. 2024. It's coming at you. I'll be at the Mic Drop Comedy Club January 5th and 6th. 3 shows. For tickets, go to chrissiemayr.com. And as always, if you have suggestions of venues of an Elks Lodge somewhere that would have me, hit them up. Hit me up. Tag us on Twitter. You know the deal. Okay. I bring in today a good friend. She was raised by the internet. My lights are dimming. She's just one of the greatest. She needs no introduction, but it's too late. I've already given one. It's Brittany Venti. Hello, darling.
Hello. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me to discuss this. I wasn't expecting another meltdown before this one. We were originally supposed to do this a few days ago, but I guess it's a good thing we waited because another melty happened.
It's been interesting, even just in teasing this stream out. A lot of people think that this is me and you ganging up on someone. A lot of people judged what this podcast episode was going to be about before it even happened. Which people tend to do. So for people that are unfamiliar, there's a bit of drama going on between Brittany here and another content creator, former burlesque dancer, Martina Markota, which I had met maybe like 10 years ago on a stand-up comedy / burlesque show. And I had her on my podcast once. I interviewed her. Like I interview lots of people who have been canceled or have left the left. I thought she had kind of an interesting story there. So I had her on my channel once, maybe in the first year or two of the podcast. And then that was it. Never talked about or mentioned her ever again. And until this sort of drama between you guys, I mean, and here's the thing is, a lot of people are very entertained by Brittany's content. She makes videos. I perceive you as to be somebody who calls people out on bullshit, someone who points out inconsistencies in character, and sometimes it's just like all in good fun. It's what you do. So some people enjoy your content, and some people say that Brittany goes too far. And I mostly was staying out of this Martina drama, mostly because it doesn't involve me. But both Martina and her husband Jack have tweeted at me quite a bit this year. They demanded I get involved. They demand that I do something about Brittany and her content, as if I am, for some reason, responsible for the behavior and content of everybody I ever associate with, which
You're
is a lot of
mommy.
people considering
Mommy, you have to punish me. Put me in
I've done
timeout.
600 I'm up to what, 606 some odd episodes of the podcast. That's a lot of people whose content I am now responsible for. So I
Yeah.
have my work cut out for me. I'm gonna do as best as I can kind of going through this because I do have some questions of you, Brittany. There are some accusations that I do want to run by you and see if there's any truth to. I'm not here to like softball you, even though we're friends. Like there were some things I saw that, if they're true, genuinely do concern me. But that's the whole point of this stream, is to clear things up and to ask questions and just figure out. So I want to know. God, it's hard to know where to start. Because I saw a tweet from Martina, and it's hard because it's hard for me to even see what's going on because Martina blocked me. I'm not even sure when. It might have been around the time that we were being critical of Eliza Blue, which I could never have guessed how many enemies that would have made me just being critical of Eliza Blue. I figured most people
Yeah.
would be like, yeah, we're all we're all against people faking that they're sex trafficking victims, but
Yeah, and that's
oh
not just a
no.
random like expose thing. Like, sure, some trolling is fun once in a while, but like that's doing real-time damage. And a lot of the people I cover are doing real-time damage. Like trafficking victims, stolen valor, that's pretty serious. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I
they don't
had
get a
someone on
pass
my
just because they have
channel.
connections.
God, I forget her name, but I had someone on my channel in the last week or two who was talking about like the real damage Eliza has done to not only sex trafficking victims, but other people who now claim to work in this industry and nobody believes them because the only person they've heard of who does this sort of work is Eliza Blue, who ended up being a total fraud. But anyway, we digress. Let's see. How can we start at the beginning? How did you first come aware of Martina?
So basically, the timeline starts 4 years ago. And she had gained a lot of attention even within my own friend group of like her lolcow tactics, and it was a constant, consistent basis, and her delusions became more prevalent over time. So it got to a point where I thought it warranted a video, and I thought it was funny. We weren't like friends or anything. I had met her in person before, during the He Will Not Divide Us era, because she came out to one of the events, and then somebody that was there wanted to take me on podcasts, and I was like, I'll go, I guess. And then I did. And I think one of those was the Rebel one, because she used to work for them too. And we were on like the same episode. And then so fast forward sometime after that, like I don't even know how much time it was. It could have been years, but I don't remember because it's so long at this point. But then I made the video and I was critical of her and her inconsistencies, especially in regard to like her denial of her participation of sex work and how she kind of would mislead people by saying, no, this is art. And to muddy those waters is really bad when you're muddying the waters of something that includes like a big part of it is trafficking children. That's how a lot of this industry, like the porn industry, for example, makes a lot of money because they don't ID check, they don't age verify or anything, such as Pornhub. There's other sites too. That's just one of the biggest ones. So she was kind of muddying those waters and claiming it was only art, but like clearly there were photos of her giving lap dances and things like that. So I made a video, and she was not happy about me being critical of her. So then sometime after that, I guess she had her various melties over the years, and they persisted. And so I hadn't really talked about her in that 4-year gap since that one video. So she's having all these melties over a video and
And so
possibly like a stream
video
afterwards, like
the
4 years
video
ago.
that you did because I'm really trying to figure out why she got so upset at this video, because it all started with this video you made 4 years ago. And when you say like she muddies the waters between like sex work and art, was she just doing burlesque? Was she doing like camming or porn or anything like that? Or
No,
mostly
she was doing
burlesque
like
and like lap dances and stuff?
burlesque and lap dances and whatever else. I don't know like personally, but like I know the photos I see. I know how she's presenting it and
Yeah.
misrepresenting it and muddying
And
the
that world,
waters.
it is a slippery slope to like escorting, and which that may or may not be public, who knows? But it's like it does once you dabble in that world, it
There's
opens up.
just like a consistency with this like archetype of woman. Usually it's an older woman who like has a sex worker past that they're embarrassed of, and they all kind of act this way. Like Cassandra, Fairbanks, Tim Pool's Booker, Martina, BX Bullet, like you'll notice like this consistent like character archetype where they kind of want to like hide that they did sex work instead of just owning up to it. And they get mad at me if I'm critical of them or mention it in a lot of these cases, and will do things that are out of line, even if it means like canceling me off of a show, talking to someone else to reputation destroy, like how Martina did, how I got kicked off of one of Tim Pool's show because of Cassandra. And I gave the receipts for that in my video too. The second one that I made 4 years later, after Martina had so many instances of her mentioning me. I don't even know how many times at this point, like dozens of times randomly mentioning me. She has
Well,
me blocked. I don't even know why she brings me up so much.
I'll tell
how
you
many?
exactly how many because we have a handy chart. Which okay, this is just the last year alone because I really was like, huh, who is mentioning whom more? I would really like to know because the consensus out there is that you can't stop talking about her. You won't leave her alone, and she is just like this poor innocent victim. So here is just a quick tabulation of let's see, this is in the last year alone. Okay,
Oh my God.
Martina has tweeted from her Martina Markota account, and thank you to my researchers, and the Lady Alchemy account, the keywords of Brittany or Venti 154 times in 2023 alone. Jack, Martina's husband, has tweeted from Jack Buckby the keywords of Brittany or Venti 44 times in 2023 alone. And those of you maybe just listening go, my God, I'm sure Brittany's maybe mentioned her hundreds of thousands of times. Brittany has tweeted from Brittany Venti and Brittany X Venti the keywords Martina or Markota 5 times in 2023 alone, and then only 1 time before that. So I think if we're just basing the metric off of who is mentioning who more on Twitter, I'm not somebody who likes to say that tweeting at somebody is harassment because you're free to log off Twitter if you like. But, you know, in terms of reaching out, talking about someone, she's clearly running away with first place here. And let's see. I think there was another chart we had.
And this is years after that one video. Like this is before I had made this now current video, the second video, as an update to everything, because she had canceled her comic book over me so that I couldn't buy it, discriminating against a Black woman, stopping a sister from buying a copy. But
okay, I'll bring up. Okay, we'll get to the comic book. So I want to make sure I'm going like piece by piece here. So you put together this video of Martina 4 years ago. For people who have not seen this video, how would you describe this video? Because did you use AI? Did you use any fake technology to make her saying things she didn't really say? Because I'm trying to figure why this would create such outrage in both her and her husband.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thing like that then. AI wasn't really like developed for like public use like that at all. This is 4 years ago. So
there's no way it could have been faked.
No, this is everything that I found through research, and also my friends who find it funny and like watch her cringe content also found things too. And it was just researched and well put together because I had multiple people able to contribute to that, which you see credited in the video too. So it was just a video for entertainment value and also to like portray some truthful aspects and how she's muddying the waters. And she just did not like it. I think she specifically, what she has like such a problem with is like, because I had talked about the rumors, like because a person was claiming like with her interactions with them that she had like done some had done things that would end a relationship while she was like engaged or married. And I mentioned it in the video.
Are you talking about cheating or like emotional cheating?
Yeah. Yeah, the screenshots are in the video. I don't even remember because it was so long ago, but it's in the video. And so she's mad about that. She's mad about that I showed that she was giving lap dances. And I think she's mad because and that's why she keeps saying, oh, Brittany's causing generational damage. My child. She keeps using her kid as a shield over and over. She's done it like, I don't know, like 6 times or so now since this second video. And which, by the way, she made 4 videos or more of me during that time. So she had made more YouTube content of me than I made of her, the one video. So same thing as the tweeting thing.
You're the obsessed one.
Yeah, okay. And she claims I'm harassing her. And
okay.
So she's mad about the lap dance and she's mad about that. And I also had a somewhat personal, like not firsthand, but like secondhand personal experience where I had a friend, by the way, like this is a long time ago. I'm just gonna say now, like you don't have to take this as truth because I don't have the receipts to give you. Most of the time when I talk about things, I do have the receipts and I will provide them. I'm just letting you guys know that this is my experience. This actually happened to me. So I had a friend who was engaged to somebody, and this friend that was engaged to somebody, Martina was Snapchatting them on a secret Snapchat, and this engagement ended up being dissolved. So that's the TLDR of it. Like this was my best friend at the time. The fiance was the guy. My best friend at the time was the female, and she told me about it, and their engagement dissolved. So Martina was on a secret Snapchat with somebody's fiance. It's not supposed to have a Snapchat. This is the only person he has on the Snapchat, and like things like that. So from personal experience too. That's
so
what happened.
It seems like she's upset because you called her out, or
but I didn't mention that in the video.
Okay.
I don't think I mentioned that part in the video. I think I had only mentioned the part where someone else had come up to claim that she had done something too.
I mean, it makes sense that both she and her husband would be very triggered by these claims, especially if there had been somebody fucking around. Like usually when there's no fucking around and a relationship is solid, you're not going to be triggered by outrageous claims. I mean, people claim outrageous shit about Frank and I all the time, and like we're not triggered by it because like we know that we're solid. So, and even at one point during one of Jack's tweets said I need to do something about your content, and I said like, yo, if your relationship is strong, you have nothing to worry about. Isn't it part of the marriage vows? What God has brought together, no man can separate. So if they're truly solid, ride or dies, what does it matter?
I don't know. Maybe all these people are lying. Maybe like maybe my friend like completely. I doubt it because she was very much like I'm not saying this in a mean way, but like goody two shoes. And so like she was like a practicing Catholic woman, and like that happened. So I saw that secondhand, and then the other person came forward. But like I don't know. I'm not there firsthand, right? So I'm just saying what I've heard and seen. But like if you're right, if they had a strong relationship, why are they so frazzled by it? And she keeps mentioning how, oh, she tried to destroy my marriage. It's like, so,
and I
so he was suspicious. That was true.
The claims that Martina claims that you tried to destroy their marriage. And one of those claims is that you sent a honeypot to, and I don't know if this is a man or a woman. This is why I'm asking. Did you send a man or a woman to honeypot Martina's husband, Jack, into some sort of cheating or some sort of, you know what I mean, flirtation scandal? Like, is there any truth to that?
You know, no, I don't know what she's talking about. The only thing I can think of is maybe like she's explaining it away so she doesn't get caught with her husband. And that's how she's explaining it to him so that he doesn't, I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Again, this was like 4 years ago, but I didn't do that, but I wish I did. That's funny as fuck.
Okay, so you did not honeypot. And then I have another screen here because Martina also released a bunch of DMs between her and Frank, which I think that speaks volumes about somebody not even involved in this drama. But here's one of the receipts here that she posted of her and Frank's conversation. So these are her other claims that you've done. The thing is, she collaborated with my stalker that got me blacklisted in my career. So there's multiple things in here. Let's address the first thing. Did you collaborate with her stalker to get her blacklisted in her career?
I have no connection to her stalker. She's claimed that I've worked with Antifa. That I orchestrated left-wing and right-wing attacks. This is all covered in the live streams that I did after I made the second video and in the second video if you guys want receipts. But she's claimed this so many times. I don't have a connection to her stalker, or like the 4 videos she uploaded of me blaming me for her stalker. It was a video of her stalker. Logically, if you don't want someone to stalk you, why are you uploading videos dedicated to them and then also blaming me for it?
Yeah, I've known
because I made a
friends
critical
who've had
video of you.
stalkers, and what they usually do is do no contact at all. And they, even if she's considering you a stalker or whoever else, like the thing to do is no contact, no mention, just really don't talk about it. And she doesn't seem to be following the typical sort of stalker protocol. Did you submit her husband to the FBI, which stalled his visa for 5 years?
No, but someone DM'd me the other day because Lauren Southern had told me to open up my DMs to this person. And they said that they were explaining to me in this text here, they said that some guy that like Jack Buckby was rude to, some right-wing guy, was the one who actually reported him to the FBI. That's what this person said. And it's a reputable person. So apparently that's what happened. Allegedly, I don't know. But like, that's what I was told.
Submit her husband to the FBI. Okay. Did you collaborate with Antifa and combine forces with them on, I guess, the video you made 4 years ago? What would that even look like?
I don't know. She literally just says this stuff. Like,
okay.
I don't know. I'm lost. But meanwhile, her actively trying to cancel me, contacting you like you're my manager, you're my Tard wrangler. Eliza Blue siding with her and me getting resulting in me getting not that Martina has that much power, but like the Eliza situation in which she sided with Eliza for deplatforming me. She basically was like, oh yeah, well, Eliza, she did that to be malicious, to post photos of her. Meanwhile, it was screenshots of Eliza from the whole music video thing, like the professionally produced music video that I posted screenshots of.
Yeah. We'll
so she was claiming I was being malicious and siding with Eliza over deplatforming me, that whole situation. Then I couldn't go on one of Tim Pool's shows and had to have my flight canceled and everything. So like, she actively is for cancel culture. She was also interacting with people on Twitter that were saying, report me for harassment, like take down my video, affect my livelihood. Meanwhile, she's crying, like saying I got her husband visa or whatever. I don't know. Like, did she accuse me of that? She's accused me of so many things. I don't know.
Sounds like she's giving you way too much power. I don't know how anyone would do any of those things, let alone all of them. So, it's just like, it's really unfortunate. Like me and Frank trying to mind our own business, but like there are, my God, so many times over the year where they have both tweeted at us to talk to you, to get through to you, to get you to take down your videos. Like I'm not for policing people's content, especially being a free speech person. Also, I don't have the time nor desire to police my friends' content. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And I mean, I've also had people who have done interviews with me and then they go, oh, they contact me like weeks or months later. God, can you take it down? And it's like, no, dude. Like if we did this for every person who had a problem, like it's kind of part of our jobs is to interview people, to make these videos. And it's like, it's not necessarily good practice to just take a video down every time someone is upset. And I don't know. That's just my personal feelings on it. I'm going to try to bring up more of these receipts here. Let's go.
Yeah, Nina is in chat. She was saying that basically Martina did guilt by association and blocked her. Like she does that a lot. She started blocking a lot of YouTubers, Ricada, like a lot of people just for associating me. She's supposed to be this, I was canceled, I'm pro free speech, grifting off conservatives, yet she's asking Chrissie to police my content, reporting to her like she's my mother, and then demanding everyone else cancel me, having melties on Twitter, getting Pearl to come fight her battles like she's a man. So
Okay, this
that's, I
is a
guess
tweet.
that's her
I'm not
man.
sure when this is from. This is Martina tweeting at Frank. Frank has me blocked, which I don't know if that's the case. But he falsely claims that I wanted Chrissy to address the Venti thing in this manner. This is a lie. According to our 2022 DMs, I clearly let him know that I didn't want them to mention anything out of fear of Venti's harassment. Because we did try to get her on Simcast once before I knew she had these issues with you. I said I would not go on a stream with her because of the years long abuse, like one video is abuse, and that I'm currently going through stuff that is causing me grief, miscarriage. You caused her miscarriage, by the way, Brittany.
I love how she uses her literal dead child as a shield, by the way. Like, it's not bad enough she uses her current alive newborn as a shield constantly, but she also managed to do it also with her unborn child of like, see what you did to me, this is all your fault. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
she's
I mean,
tweeting how healthy she is and how fertile she is. So,
I
and
mean,
I'm
it's
supposed to
not a very big
psychically
shield.
know.
If that's a shield, it's not that big. And then after the taunts on my empty uterus, can't have the stress of Venti any further. These people are liars. They just flat out lie as if people don't have the proof. The only thing my husband wanted was for Chrissy to address what Venti did to me, not to gang up with her. I don't, and that's the thing is like these people are literally never happy. If I stay silent, I'm a terrible person. I'm an enabler. But when I address these things with you, oh, I'm not doing it the right way. I'm not doing it the way Martina wants me to. And that sounds pretty controlling to me, honestly.
It is
Uh,
controlling. She's a control freak for sure.
she says, I just don't understand. According to Venti's vitriol, I'm bad because I was old, childless, and a whore. Meanwhile, Chrissy is older than me, has no kids, and literally hangs around whores. So what is the real hatred about? How can Chrissy not find her, quote, empty uterus taunts personally insulting? Why would I find someone else's insults insulting? Like, why would I be insulted by something I'm not insulted by?
She
I don't
always
really
omits the
understand that.
context, by the way. She constantly frames this as, oh, she attacked me for being old. The reason that I mentioned she's middle aged is because she's acting like a high schooler. And also, additionally, she constantly would brag about how amazing her uterus is, how healthy and fertile she is, and then also now complains, "But I was having miscarriages, and you were bullying me." But meanwhile, she's online saying how healthy and fertile she is, and like putting other women down, saying she's more fertile than them, she's better than them. She has a long history of doing this, as I showed in my video and my live streams, my videos. But the more recent ones have the recent receipts of her doing this too. It was a long history of her doing this. She put down Anna. She put down
Oh, yeah. Attacked Anna for no
Mary
reason.
Morgan from Timcast as
Who's a
well, just for
sweetheart.
associating with me loosely. Insulted
Wow.
her appearance, insulted Anna's appearance, insulted random Mennonite women. She'll do it to anyone. She doesn't care who, even if there's no personal beef. She puts down other women to put herself up and brag about her fertility. So when people are clowning on her for having an empty uterus, that's why. It's not because she's pushing 40. It's because of the context of what she's doing and bragging about her own uterus, how fertile she is, while putting other women down.
She even I don't know if it's libel or slander, what's accurate, but like even in these texts, these DMs with Frank, which she posted, is claiming that Venti has tried to destroy my marriage. So she's already claiming that you have tried to she's making that fact that you've tried to destroy her marriage by making the video claiming I'm cheating. Again, if these things aren't true, it should have no impact on your relationship. And then this was back when we tried to get on Simcast in February. Oh shit, I had no idea. She sent the video. She's saying she collaborated with my stalker, blacklisted me. This is when she's saying all these things.
Where's her proof? She makes a lot of claims with not a lot of proof.
And then no worries at all. And so again, and it just really does speak to her character that she would post these DMs, and like literally Frank has nothing to do with this drama. I just don't understand how bringing him into it is. Maybe people felt like they couldn't talk to me, or I mean, the thing to do, Martina, if you really want to get through to me, would be to unblock me and like let's have a conversation. But I guess that's too difficult. It's more fun to just block and then talk shit. Let's see, what else do we have here? And then we have the strange. Let me just make sure I've covered everything in sequence here. Okay. It's strange that the strange association out of nowhere, I think I woke up this morning to seeing Pearl asking me to not do this interview with you today.
Oh yeah, she's also doing the same thing. Why? Because it's another pick me situation. Pick me Pearl and Melty Martina. Because pick me Pearl has a similar issue. Though she's not as old as like the other former sex workers and hasn't had a sex worker past, she has that same personality type where it's very like emotional thinking and the same kind of thing. That's why she's using Martina as a way to dab on me. Pearl's very desperate to dab on me, and she'll even go as far as defending someone who she would normally throw under the bus, such as a former sex worker who is pushing 40. Like Pearl constantly shits on 35-year-olds and up, saying they're over the hill.
I was shocked.
And they're not as attractive.
I thought Pearl got hacked. I swear to God, I saw this. I was like, wait, did you suddenly rebrand as someone who has compassion for women over 35? Like,
she's using Martina. She's using her, and she doesn't realize it because Martina's so desperate for Sims. If you look through her feed, Chrissy, I don't know if you've had the pleasure today, but it's literally just her replying to every Sim. Martina, every Sim, replying to every single one, to the point where she'll take Pearl's support, who directly insults the things that how she is as a person, pushing 40, former sex worker.
Yeah, it does seem inconsistent with what Pearl claims her values are. So Pearl says today, "Hey, Chrissie Mayr, this woman is asking for your friend Brittany to stop making videos about her." Like, what did you make? One, maybe two?
I love how she misspells my name, by the way, like when it's right there.
It's a slight. I guess it's a little. I see people do that with my name too, and it's like it's a subtle dunk. I guess she's a young mom and she doesn't have a big following. I think I mean, here's the thing: is like why is she doing interviews? Why is she doing Timcast? If she's trying to keep a low profile and not be in the public eye, why does she seem to be consistently be in the public eye? But that's just my question.
And Pearl says, I think she's pushing 40.
I think it's inappropriate to keep bringing her up on your show, which is. Other than my one interview with Martina, I don't think I've ever brought up Martina on my show. So again, I don't know where she's getting that from. Why don't you tell Brittany to focus her hit pieces on YouTubers like me and leave this chick alone? I'm like, Pearl, I'll stop leaving people alone and stop being critical of people when you do, I guess.
She never has receipts.
There has to be rules of engagement for this type of thing. Not everyone is asking to have their entire lives picked apart on YouTube, which is very hypocritical considering the type of content she does, I think. And your friend Brittany does this over and over again. I don't really care what people did before YouTube. I really want to hear their arguments. Again, I don't care what people did for YouTube. Brittany keeps talking about this chick did burlesque and has weird opinions. We get it, but she's a mom now. I really think it's wrong to keep covering for this chick who keeps asking to be left out of it. I didn't realize reproducing made you immune from criticism. If that's the case, I should have had a kid. I should have had a kid years ago because I would have loved to have been immune to criticism all these years.
My thoughts exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this tweet. Like, go back to it for a sec. So, like, first off, she brings things up with no sort of proof or receipts, like about mentioning her on the show, you mentioning her. Like, of course, she doesn't bring receipts. Pearl never does research, and that was a large part of my video on Pearl, which is why she's mad and taking any opportunity to dab on me, even if it means siding with someone that she would normally throw under the bus for pushing 40 and having a sex worker pass. Now suddenly, it doesn't matter, but like that's not how she normally operates. She literally says an average 20-year-old can 100% of the time basically outcompete a hot 35-year-old. Like, she has this hatred for older women because an older woman outcompeted her with her first boyfriend and left her for her. And Tree was tweeting the video for that. So she just has like a personal issue with that. So that's also why she does that. So, she has this very deep like connection to not liking older women.
It's very human because my very first boyfriend cheated on me with an Asian chick. And for years, I would be triggered by just the sight of an Asian woman. So like, this is like a human thing to be like, I'm not making content. I'm not making like videos about Asian women. I get it. Like, if this is how Pearl's part of Pearl's origin story is losing a boyfriend to an older woman, I can understand how that's part of why older women are trash and whatever. But I just found this very curious that she would take up for more this, in her mind, older married woman when she is both against being older and being married.
No, but she called her a young mom. Like, pay attention to her framing with this. She called her a young mom. She's not a young mom. She's pushing 40. That's like late to be a mom. But she's
Yeah,
framing it that way on purpose to try to like
she's
do
a
the
victim.
simp call to gather the simps. Yeah. She's using a lot of the same arguments Martina is. And she's doing the same, reporting me to you and like saying, leave her alone. Meanwhile, like Martina's the one tweeting how many times, like rewind to the graph, like leave her alone. I haven't been online in like 4 days. Like I've been with Sean, and I woke up today to Martina having another melty. So it's her who keeps bringing it up and talking about it over and over.
Here's an example of her and her husband kind of going after Frank for kind of no reason. This is from February. Martina says, all they do is project. They do online sex work, so they have to project that my career is stripping. They are mean girls that attack other women and pretend me defending myself is being mean girls. All projection. Frank says, serious question. Where do you believe the line is from you defending yourself to becoming you being the one attacking? And then her husband, Jack, says, Frank, you're such a piece of shit. Like, is that really warranted? Brittany tried to break up our marriage. Again, if you have the power to break up their marriage, how strong could it really be? And for what? She sent someone to Martina trying to get her to flirt back with him. Oh, so you sent a honeypot to Martina to get her to flirt back with him, and it didn't happen. I mean, that's also a really great excuse for, you know, someone being in your DMs that you don't want, and you can just say, "Oh, this is Brittany Venti's honeypot. It's not that I'm, flirting with somebody else online. This is a honeypot situation." And it didn't
Yeah, it
happen.
sounds like it sounds like she's covering her ass. By the way, I think Martina forgot to log into her account here.
She tried to
Like,
entrap me with some gay guy, also didn't work. Obviously, she targets women online for clicks. She literally makes attack videos to drum up drama and make money online, and you're defending that. So Frank is defending that by literally asking a question. The only reason we are talking about this now after all these years of her lies and the abuse from her insane fans is, let's see, for clicks, is because Martina wanted to block anyone who was promoting her. And then the childish Star Wars girl, our friend Anna, made it all about herself, then posted the video that Venti did, which contains nothing but seriously nasty lies, then provoked a response. What do you do for humanity? Why is the world better to have you, Chrissy, and Brittany in it? What exactly do you do other than stir up drama, defend monsters, and try to hurt people? Believe me, it's no fun to be targeted by psycho bullies with no empathy. Find God. So Martina's husband is asking Frank to find God because he had the gall to ask a question of what's the line between defending yourself and you becoming the bully. It
yeah,
doesn't seem to
that's
take much.
ridiculous. Definitely
And it goes on.
what?
He goes on to say,
Oh
and by the
God.
way, Frank, we have been scared to speak about this nastiness for years, and Martina is pregnant, for God's sake. She's pregnant, immune from criticism. But you all just keep the bullying going. We're the attackers or the bullies. Then why are we scared to defend ourselves? No more. And another thing, you may want to ask your Charlottesville
She's
attending
scared.
bully friend exactly how confident she is that everything she said in that disgusting video is true. So again, it seems like they're tweeting about you quite a bit. And then here's when I finally respond to Jack after all these tweets, I was like, who the fuck is this person, first of all? And then I was like, oh, it's the husband. He writes, it is strong. Thankfully, I thought you were a friend of Martina's. And I don't know where that comes from. Like, again, if I
She did the same with
interview you,
me.
if I interview you on my channel once, maybe in some people's mind that makes you a friend. To me, it takes more than just interviewing somebody once to be a friend. I have slightly higher standards than that. But the fact you have absolutely no problem with this behavior says a lot about you. So the fact that I'm staying out of you making the content you want to make and drama that doesn't involve me, he's basically calling me evil for minding my own business. You know what she did. You know how she does it to other women. You know it's messed up. You say nothing. So I'm evil for minding my business. I go, friend, just to call out how ridiculous it is that he said that Martina was my friend. Friend, did she reach out to me when my mom died? Clearly she didn't. She's not a friend. Did you reach out? She said the husband, if it really is the husband, did you at any point reach out when your friend was trying to ruin our marriage and humiliate her for profit? Again, I didn't know this was fucking going on. I didn't see the video you made till way after the fact, probably years later. Shame on you, Chrissy. You know this is evil. So again, like,
I'm
I'm
allowed to make videos criticizing anyone I please, especially if I'm providing receipts for it. And I say when something happened or when I think something happened, and I show why I think this happened, or if the thing did happen, here's a receipt for it. So she's, again, just seething. I think that's her typing that. If you look at the writing style, I'm pretty sure it's Martina logged into her husband's account, writing constantly, because she also on her own account, her multiple accounts, the Lady Alchemy one and the Martina one, constantly tweets. And it's crazy how they do this whole like, you guys are bullies, you guys are complicit in Brittany bullying Martina. Meanwhile, isn't this bullying? How they're constantly trying to report me and trying to cancel me, and Martina trying to say to the person like, oh, you should report for harassment. She's like, yeah, but she has YouTube connections, blah blah. She like tries to deplatform me, my job. So who's doing the bullying here? Like, this is bullying. Them constantly trying to do reputation destruction, them trying to contact other people, which you weren't the only one, by the way, Chrissy. She also contacted Lauren Southern and tried to report me to her, basically, and try to get her to control me too. And I'm like, dude, look at these tweets. And they're playing victim, right? But Martina has multiple tweets where she's bullying. She like posted a photo of me where like I wasn't wearing a bra because I had gone to the hospital. And I was still recovering from that. I didn't stream for months because of this. It was an incident with my head, like migraines and things like that. And I didn't have health insurance. And so I was recovering from that. I was having miscarriages. Like, well, guess what? I was sick there and recovering from that. And also like very thin because of it too, with issues eating and the corn stuff. I didn't know as much about my corn allergy then, which was triggering a lot of inflammation, a lot of these issues. And so she goes to that picture and she's like, look at her tits, as if like big boobs like magically float, like if they're not implants. So like, she's like, look at her saggy tits, essentially was the sentiment of it. Her bullying me while I was sick, right? You want to do the whole, oh, I magically know she has a miscarriage, or she's saying she has healthy fertility and putting other women down. But she's doing that and claiming she's the victim here.
So
like this is simple.
This is her, I guess, commenting on your boob situation. Here's a picture of her. I mean, how saying that you and I are catty. How catty can you get? Imagine posting like a picture of somebody's tits and going, "Wow, look at her tits." You know what I mean?
No, it's worse. She goes, "I'm in my 30s with incredibly perky tits." So once again, she has to put someone else down to put herself up. Like at the same time, it's not just like she's insulting someone because she doesn't like them. She's also using it to put herself on the pedestal.
Yeah, she thinks that you are jealous of her. She's in her 30s with incredibly perky angel blood tits, and she's so young, and you already have granny saggy tits. I think it's very cringe to even post such a thing. But you're the one who can't leave her alone. It's just very inconsistent.
Meanwhile, I was literally recovering and sick, literally can't even wear a bra because it would fuck up my shoulders and my back and trigger migraine issues because of all the inflammation. And I had a huge problem with that during that year. And like, I could barely walk outside. Like I would like get sick, lose breath, get dizzy. And like, that's the photo from that era. But she's like, oh, look how terrible she looks. Like, meanwhile, I need to never insult her or like speak on how she puts down other women for her to brag about her own fertility while she has miscarriages that I'm supposed to magically know about. It makes no sense.
You're supposed to know about everyone's miscarriages. You have to have a miscarriage tracker. So here's another tweet. Pearl dismissing, I guess this is all girl drama. If it's something that doesn't interest you, it's girl drama, I guess.
Girl drama. Meanwhile, she's trying to deplatform me, claim I'm harassing her, wants my video taken down. That's not freedom of speech. Miss, I'm always canceled, going on every podcast saying, I was canceled, Martina. Melty Martina, I was canceled, meanwhile. And then Pearl supporting this because she's also not pro free speech, Chrissy. She also
I think Pearl is just anti you. I think that's what's going on right now. A lot of the people that are coming out critical of you right in this moment are people who just hate you and are using this as an opportunity
Yeah,
um, to air their venti grievances, whether it's relevant or
exactly.
not. So Pearl says it's all girl drama. We get it. She did some burlesque stuff. Has weird what a weird thing to say. Weird opinions. What are the weird opinions? And Brittany doesn't think she's accomplished. Isn't this just bullying at this point? Why don't you attack the idea instead of the person? Who cares? What does mocking her about it do? She's a new mom and married now, which means she's
Where's her proof?
immune from criticism. It's not like she is a public figure. Can't you just leave
Yes,
this
she
chick
is.
alone?
I mean, you could argue if online creators in general, are they public figures? You can argue that if you would like to. However, if you were to say that generally online content creators are public figures, she's not exempt from that just because she's inconsistent with her content. She made a comic book. She publicly fundraised one from her viewership that she got from grifting on conservatives. She's been on big shows. She's been on Tim Cash. She was on Az's show. She worked for Rebel Media as well, I think as a journalist or a reporter. So, like, it's not like, oh, she's just a normie and this is so random. Also, Pearl provides no receipts for like, oh, I'm harassing her, blah, blah. Is she referring to a video from 4 years ago of me being critical of her? Because there's this huge gap, once again, between then and the video I just made now, where she canceled her entire comic book. So
I
like,
didn't realize.
notice that she provides no receipts.
I didn't realize Martina had quote tweeted this because I am blocked from her. She is, I guess, saying about or to me. I asked you to speak to her in private. Again, I didn't see this until it was sent to me. I asked you to speak to her in private. Again, when, where? You said that you weren't her babysitter. This response is disingenuous. For someone who doesn't know me, it's odd to say something I'm saying is disingenuous. Do you think having my abuser, so now you're an abuser, on a stream to shit talk me while I'm trying to take care of a new baby is appropriate? Well, I don't know. Maybe then don't watch it if
You know how
it's
serious
truly
that
upsetting.
is? Like how serious it is to call someone an abuser. But this is like, she's spouted libel about me so many times. I went over in the video and the live streams, the examples, but like there's a lot of times between like, you're working with Antifa and like saying that I told people to go attack her, which never happened. Like she is not above lying, and neither is Pearl. Miss I don't know who Brittany Venti is. Now she wants to tweet about me. She was on the Whatever podcast, and they asked her about me because when I made the first video about Pearl, and she pretended on that live stream to not know who I was. Meanwhile, 24 hours ago or less, she was on Abin Preach's video where they were going over my video criticizing her. And she left a comment. So she knew who I was. She was just lying. So neither of these people are above lying at all. And they're not pro free speech. Pearl copy struck someone because she didn't like them. And that was also in my video, one of my videos, the second one on Pearl.
Look at the amount of response. Like Frank is just saying, I believe Martina has publicly asked Chrissie to literally address Brittany's videos about her and the situation whole. Again, the husband is like too much in her business. Lie. She asked her to talk privately because Brittany literally tried to destroy a marriage. Again, false. Out of nowhere, unprovoked in 2019 with lies that calling Frank a liar. You know you're lying. This is harassment, abuse. You bully for money. Like these are outrageous claims. If anyone's harassing, it's this husband and the two of them. Why don't you do YouTube videos about something that doesn't hurt people? Do you have any other topics besides bullying or creating drama? Martina is she's a new mother. I don't know if you guys knew this. She's a new mother and therefore immune from criticism. She's
also on Billboard and magazine.
One Billboard, one magazine. Again, it's your fault that she had a miscarriage. It's your fault that anyone is critical of her. It's like, don't show the kid the podcast, I guess. Don't show the kid the video if that is your main concern. You're just going on and on and on. And it's like, it's hard to see what she asked or didn't ask because I'm blocked for reasons I'm not aware of. It's just a ton of
because you're associated with me.
Yeah,
it's guilt by association, just like how she blocked everyone else, multiple other YouTubers.
Like this is harassment. We're talking about harassment, paragraphs and paragraphs to Frank for.
That's why I say it's Martina. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that's Martina on his account.
What straight man writes that much to another man? I don't really know.
Exactly.
But again, can't prove that is her, but that just is a lot.
And
to send.
like Pearl, like I said, Pearl is a similar archetype, which is why she's siding with her and using her, because Pearl doesn't personally like her. She doesn't like people who meet these requirements. She's dunked on them constantly, over and over, because that's the only thing Pearl has. It's like some youth on her side. So that's her claim to fame. So of course that she uses that as the same way that Martina uses how she's prettier and more fertile than everyone else, like how she puts down Anna or me or Mary Morgan or whoever else. It's the same type of person. So
here's
she's just mad
Martina
about the
saying
video.
that Pearl has character because she is sticking up for just her in particular, but the rest of the 35-year-old woman can fuck right off and die. But because Pearl is sticking up for Martina, she is a living saint.
Yeah,
Again,
literally.
how many times does she mention that you have tried to break up their marriage with no receipts? She's big Pearl fan all of a sudden, but like
This is toxic femininity. Like, because also, by the way, Pearl would 100% call what Martina did sex work and call her a whore for it. She would not be like, oh, that's art. This is purely to like, because they're both very desperate to dab on me. But this is toxic femininity. It's like these mental warfare tactics that men don't really resort to typically unless they're very feminine or gay. And it's toxic femininity in the sense that, what do? Okay, reputation destruction, right? They say things very emotionally charged with no receipts. There's not much logic to it. It's not consistent. And they try to garner simps to protect them, like Martina constantly crying to be white knighted for, which is why Pearl stepped up, because she was asking for the men to defend her. So like Pearl's like, I'll defend you to dab on Venti. So it's toxic
I have a penis.
It's reputation destruction attempts. Like these are things women do. This is like a very psychologically woman response to do. Like how there's toxic masculinity in the sense of like physical violence.
Look at the character of her saying, yes, at 35, you have basically lost everything men value. You got maybe a decade left of being good looking. Kids are a maybe. Purity, youth, basically gone. Don't shoot the messenger. But the character, Brittany, on her.
Yeah, Martina is suddenly exception for that. And Pearl's trying to get her simps she's like migrating her simps to Martina to save her.
Just very inconsistent for someone who literally shits on every single other 35-year-old and up woman except for
and you know what's interesting about that too, Chrissy? I don't know if you remember this happened, but it was recent where, okay, so you see Pearl here. She's like, Martina's a young mom. Meanwhile, she's not, but she's framing it that way so she gets more simps, right?
Years. Yeah.
Because her followers want someone who's young, because she's constantly tweeting stuff like this, right? Like how 35-year-olds have no value in her eyes, right? Or to men, because she's projecting and that's her way of seeming wanted. I mean, a lot of people think Pearl is 35. So I don't know, for someone who gets told that so much, I wouldn't be dunking on 35-year-olds so much. And it's due to her lack of own self-care, by the way, which I went over in the video and is fair game to criticize, because she constantly, just like Martina, puts other women down.
She's saying, remember when I triggered all the 35-year-old moms by telling them 25-year-olds are hotter? Lol. Who knows if she said that to Martina. She also said, no, 35-year-old women aren't that hot. None will compete with the average in-shape 21-year-old. Don't shoot the messenger. So again, like, oh, but she has wonderful character.
Okay. Yeah. So where I was getting at, by the way, is that recently, so Pearl's trying to defend a quote young mom, right? Where was that energy when she doxed Steven Crowder's kids' names who are underage, their kids, and also doxed their nanny's home address? And she did this in an attempt to side with Steven Crowder and to kind of put the wife down. That's the middle of the divorce that had that incident with him where he's like, feed the dog this toxic shit or whatever, even though you're pregnant, you're not supposed to put gloves on. That whole incident where he was telling his wife to do that. So now they're having the divorce. And she's like trying to side with Steven Crowder and trying to leak. She leaked the documents without redacting the information. So she doxed their kids, the wife and Steven Crowder, their kids' names and their nanny's address. Like this actually happened. She's helping young moms though. Where was that energy then? You're not helping young moms.
Yeah. I think you could help moms by promoting marriage. That would help a young mom because they would have more of a support system instead of saying, no one get married, get a vasectomy, cut your dick off. Here she's again. I mean, from the tweets, it looks like she's obsessed with you, not the other way around. Venti is so obsessed and jealous. It's literally, I mean, literally insane. Hope you get the help you need. You can't stop obsessing over me, yet she's crushing you in just sheer amount of tweets. Meanwhile, I'm painting the baby room while the baby sleeps. Texas must be boring if you can't stop thinking about me in New York for a decade. Again, you tweeted about her just a handful of times, and she's over
almost a
150.
decade. Where did she get that from? Also, I think it's funny she's painting the baby's room like green screen green. Like, is she gonna put herself in the background in videos, like how she does in her
Maybe
comic? Put like
she
Lady Alchemy in the background of the
paint
baby's room?
a giant billboard onto the wall, and then the baby could be on a billboard.
Yeah, I think so. That's the only reason you would paint it that ugly shade of green. But
And it is
like,
this is an interesting receipt here that you sent me. It's from the Billboard magazine era. Brittany is so jealous. I'm on billboards and magazines. Sucks to want fame so bad. While you guys being a YouTuber chasing clout, you'll never get any legitimacy. You'll always be crying like an e-girl. Well, I will continue to make art. And then Pearl says, this chick is so crazy. She's apparently streaming about me now. Like, get a life. But she keeps tweeting about you. So maybe she needs to get a life.
nonstop. Same issue, by the way. Just like how there was a 4-year gap where I'm not talking about her, but she's constantly having meltdowns about me. The same thing, even on a small scale, right? I'm with Sean for 4 days, I'm middle of moving, and I log in and Martina's having another melty. It's like, I was gone for 4 days not talking about you. And here you are again having another melty and involving Pearl in it too. Pick me Pearl. So it's a very consistent thing. It's pretty clear. I understand it might be confusing at first glance if it's like two people are saying the same thing, like, hey, you're stalking me, no, you're stalking me. But actually the data shows that she's constantly talking about me on a macro scale and on a micro scale, even when I don't talk about her. And she constantly says how she makes me out to be like the big bad wolf, that I have so much control over everything and like orchestrating everything and ruined her life. It's her doing it to herself, but she has no self-awareness to realize that.
To me, it looks like she is Striesanding herself. I think there's so many people who would not have known or cared about anything you've said or your one video. But she just can't stop talking about it. She can't help herself, can't stop tweeting about you. So I think she's brought so many more eyes to this video that she supposedly doesn't want anyone to see than you just simply existing with a 4-year-old video would have brought to it.
Yeah, and it's really gross too, by the way, how she's like very much switching between these two personas of, oh, I hope she heals and gets better and finds peace and seek help, seek God, right? And her husband's saying that too, which is totally not Martina. But then the next second, she's making tweets on her alt account, Lady Alchemy calling me evil bitch, on her main account calling me evil bitch, name calling, insulting my breasts from when I was sick. Just like, it's crazy how it constantly switches, like from victim to like constantly tweeting, constantly insulting, trying to reputation destroy, doing these very like female warfare tactics.
Yeah. I got a couple of questions in the chat from Mark Hott, Brittany Venti, the great genius of our time. Thank you, Mark. Andrew Thomas, happy October and Halloween season. Always sexy, Chrissy, and always beautiful, Venti. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about. I still don't fully understand why she brought Anna into this. I guess why I don't understand she brought Frank or myself into this, but Martina has tweeted about the link to Brittany Venti's Martina video 5 times. Anna has tweeted the link to Brittany Venti's Martina video 1 time. Brittany has tweeted the link to Brittany Venti's Martina video 0 times. So here's a clear example of how Martina is Striesanding herself. She tweeted the link to this video that she supposedly can't stand 5 times, but she doesn't want anyone to see it and it's ruining her life. So why tweet it out?
Thanks for the advertisement, I guess. Kind of weird to do that though if you have a stalker. Since I'm such a serious stalker, like for 4 years, you would think she would report me to the police if that were true. And she's so vocal about it. It's not like she's actually scared. She claims, oh, Jack Buckby, oh, she's scared. That's why. Oh, she wasn't scared enough to make 100 tweets or whatever the graph said, right? If she's so scared, so that's not true.
Let's refer to the graph. This was a great graph.
It was.
Let's share it again. For those just joining. Oops, shit. Oh, buttons. Okay. Okay. 154 times just this year alone. Who knows? Could she have been talking about Britney Spears? Not with this spelling. Britney is spelled differently. So this is a very particular to Venti spelling of Britney. 154 times this year. The husband has tweeted about you 44 times this year. You have tweeted 5 times.
Wait, so this isn't including if she misspells my name, like how Pearl did? Because Pearl can't fact check anything ever.
That's true. I don't think we looked for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she pulled the same thing Pearl did.
She talked about me and misspelled my name, I guess, to make it less traceable. It's very strange. God says, what I don't get is why she's going after Anna. I don't really understand that either. All I know is she just came after her and said her art sucked out of nowhere.
Because she's jealous. And this isn't for me to just throw around, oh, you're just jealous. Because I hate when people do that, when someone has a legitimate criticism and they came to the conclusion through critical thinking, and they'll tell women like, oh, you're just jealous. And I don't see that done to guys very often. But I genuinely mean it when I say I genuinely think she's jealous of Anna, because as I said in the first video, Anna, or in the first, like in the video from this year, not the very first one I made, she very much is like the shadow of Anna, right? Anna was able to actually accomplish the things that Martina wanted to do on multiple levels, because they're both artists, so to speak, right? Martina actually drew at some point, right? Anna actually makes money off of that. She's successful at that. Martina tried to quote unquote model burlesque, right? Anna was able to actually model and successfully launch off several calendars and gets paid a lot for it. So you see a lot of similarities, and it seems like Martina kind of outaged that and is jealous that Anna was able to succeed in that area and accomplish those things. And she's popular among comic book people, like nerdy people that Martina wants to be associated with too, because she has a comic book about herself with her cringy self-insert character. So Anna is everything that Martina wanted to be. So I genuinely do think it's jealousy for her to randomly lash out at her just for being associated with me to that extent and insulting her appearance.
There's no reason for her to be insecure or jealous. You're all very talented, good-looking women. It seems like the biggest trigger is the ruining of the marriage. Whereas, again, if there's already cracks, it seems opportune to blame it on you than to own up to any shenanigans. Don Juan says, Ms. Venti, thank you for exposing Trollo. You and I don't agree on much, but Trollo and the RP isn't something that will help men. I'm a PUA, by the way. Okay, this is too many initials for me to understand.
That's interesting that he's a PUA and says that, but thank you.
What is a PUA? I don't know what that is.
PUA, pickup artist.
Oh, okay. Don, again, I asked Adam Sosnick to have you in your show and Valuetainment, but he doesn't know you. Tag him on a video. Interview Angela Knight. Okay, don't know them. Armagod. Nina, try getting your own personality, you vampire. Are you kidding me? I love Nina. She's got her own personality. How dare you?
Nina has
hello.
her own show and her own thing going on.
K-Max is the worst part, Chrissie. This pick side stuff Martina and Jack are doing. Why can't someone like both Brittany and Martina? Why does it have to be disavow Brittany or else you are my enemy too? This is what I don't understand. It's this crazy like guilt by association culture, which we see a lot of, I guess, online with anyone who's sort of a semi-public figure.
You see it with cancel culture specifically, which is interesting. Miss I was canceled and make my whole career revolve around that.
Yeah, like people weren't blaming Brittany for my Malaysia gate or my fried chicken joke. So why do I have to be blamed for videos she made? I just don't really understand. And it's like I can't stay out of it and I can't talk to her either. So there's no winning with these people. Man, Joe says, wow, what is wrong with you, Brittany? You don't like anyone, do you? You don't like anyone.
Yeah, I guess it seems that way to people. You know, people keep saying like with the Pearl Martina stuff, like the whole like, oh, like Jack Buckby's tweets, like, oh, well, what do you do aside from create bullying content? If you actually pay attention to the content I make, it's not just for the lulz. It's not just because there's entertainment value. There's usually a message to why I'm doing it. For example, Rolo misleading men, lying to them, literally giving false statistics. Same thing with Pearl, literally lying about statistics, lying to people, misleading them, unable to even represent her own example of what's the ideal for a husband, and putting other women down. These are things that need to be talked about. Like, I'm opening the conversations for these things, and it's just being dismissed as just bullying. And I think that's a really poor representation of what the content is. Sure, like if it's fair game to make fun of their appearance because like they insult other people by doing that, like they insult other people's appearance, or they themselves are saying how women need to be beautiful, and meanwhile Pearl, for example, like is very unkempt. She doesn't even brush her hair until I made my video. Then she started brushing her hair. Like,
she has
these are things that are warranted.
Yeah.
Like when you're putting other women down and saying they're not good enough and they're not, and men only value your beauty. Meanwhile, she doesn't even do the basic self-care that a average woman would be doing. Like it's just unkempt. And she's supposed to be talking about what men desire and how dating works and running a dating show. So these are things that are worth talking about. It's not just random unwarranted bullying of like innocent characters.
Yeah. Armagod to send Martina the link. I would love to, but I remain blocked. Star Wars Girl, I only tweeted the video after I saw she blocked me and was sent screenshots of her talking shit about me. I asked publicly on Twitter and why, and that's when I was told about the video. Yeah, again, no reason for Anna to be brought into this. Matt Joe says, so you don't like men and you don't like women.
Yeah, if I criticize specific men or specific women, that's what it turns into. It's like, you hate women, you hate men. Like Martina uses that logic too. It's like she got very mad in multiple tweets. Like, Venti claims she's pro-woman, but she criticized me. It's like, you're pro-woman, you would criticize bad, like women who set bad examples. That would be part of that. You wouldn't just be complicit or like endorsing it. I mean, you could be neutral, not say anything if it's not worth the energy, but I don't see how that contradicts. If I criticize bad things about certain genders and what they do, a specific people, that means I hate the whole gender or everyone related to that in its entirety and all their friends, like Martina tries to do.
This is a good point from TBYS, pretending to be anti-feminist while constantly playing the victim card. Yes.
Yeah, both of them have that in common for sure. A lot of these women have that in common.
Pushup says, Martina blocked everyone during the Eliza Blue thing. Mangus, can we get a recap of what you're talking about? We're talking about it right now, Mangus.
Yeah.
K-Max, if it came to a fist fight, who wins, Brittany or Martina? Or could it be handled with words or debate? I would hope it could be handled with words.
You think so? When she's having melties 24/7, when I don't say anything for days? You really think she can handle words? She said I caused her breast milk to be corrupted.
You corrupted her breast milk and you ruined their marriage.
Yeah.
K-Max, again, of all the people you could like or dislike Brittany, why like Paris Hilton? You heard what Anthony Cumia said about her. Because she's the ultimate bimbo, right?
Yeah, she's the Aquarius bimbo. See, it's the lack of discernment nowadays. It's like, if you like one aspect of someone, that means you have to like every aspect of them. Like, does that mean, oh, like, I suddenly love sex tapes now? No, but because Paris had one. But like, I appreciate some aspects of Paris and how she's a comedic genius. You can definitely appreciate the artist's art.
True. And I'm going to send you a link in case there's anything pertinent you want to add. The only time I've spoken to Martina was I reached out to help her. I had no idea she held that much animosity towards me. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. Also, you should go over the initial thing about her canceling her comic book, because that was insane. Like, people were contacting me over that. I wanted to address it, but I was like, no, I have to talk about the video.
Hold on. bought her comic book. You went to try to go buy her comic book because you wanted to read it. Because what did you? Is it because you heard it was a self insert, or you're just curious?
I was curious, and also a few of my friends, like I said, follow her as like a lolcow, and they find it really funny. And so I wanted my own copy. And so I saw that she was tweeting about me and still is talking about me. So I'm like, well, let's see if this is worth bringing up again, if this is worth talking about, this is worth my time. And I knew it was a self-insert, but I wanted to see how bad it was. And so I went to buy it. And then she made this whole tweet, which I didn't see till like a day or so later because she has me blocked. And she was saying that she canceled her entire comic books just so I couldn't buy it. Like literally, so no one can buy it, just so I can't buy it.
Stopped selling it to all people just because you wanted to buy it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's strange.
And yeah, imagine like you fundraise a comic book. I don't know how much money she made. I think it was like 50, 70,000 or something like that. You could probably still find the GoFundMe thing or whatever website she used to kickstart it. But she raised a lot of money off of her audience to make that comic book. And then she just like takes it away and doesn't sell it to them because she's scared of my criticism. It's very cowardly. If you were confident in your artistic work, if you're such an artist, you wouldn't be so scared of me getting it. But I got my hands on a copy anyway, and I critiqued it anyway. So what good did you do other than isolate your audience, not give them what they helped you to make? That's kind of spitting in their face.
Well, maybe it was like a vanity project. Maybe it wasn't something to make income from. Like I don't know, people make art for all sorts of different reasons. But that it does seem like great lengths to go to keep you from getting a copy.
Yeah, I don't know what her true motivation was, but they did contribute money for her donating to her stream, donating to the campaign, all that for her to make this comic book. So for her to just like not sell it. And she also didn't refund me. I have to check my bank statement from August. I mean September now. But like when I did check when I made the video 2 weeks ago, I think it is now, 12 days ago. There was no refund. So she just stole the money from me and never sent me the comic book. But I'll have to check it again now that September's over. I can check the bank statement again.
I like this comment here. She likes being canceled more than she likes making content. And I guess I see I used to at one point think of myself as like a sort of canceled comedian. Then I'm like, no, you're only as canceled as you let yourself be. There are so many platforms there. If there's a room somewhere that I can fill, then guess what? I'm still doing comedy and I'm not canceled. And it's like, you just got to find your audience, be true to yourself. You'll find your audience that whatever, your community, your fandom. And then you're kind of not canceled. And it seems like she complains about being canceled more than she makes art. I don't know. Maybe most of the art is in the past that she's made. I'm not super clear.
And her art wasn't even good. It literally looked like Hitler's art. Like, you know, when Hitler like drew art and you first look at it and you're like, oh wow, like that's a lot of like line work and stuff, like because he's drawing buildings, but then it's like slightly off. Like that's how her art looks, but not as good. It's like even more off.
People like her art. It's possible.
Yeah, but she used it to put down Anna's art and insulted. So fair game. Yeah. Her art wasn't good looking at all. For her to put her own art up and put Anna's art down. It's ridiculous. No self-awareness at all.
God bless America. Thank you, Patriots. Arma God, thank you. Does she or does she not have Nephilim blood? This was another thing that you brought up that I found hilarious because you just simply cut together all the times that she mentioned that she has special angel blood, that she has a special blood type that makes her like better than human or something, which is it's just hilarious how many times she's mentioned it. And it was hilarious how many times she mentioned being on magazines and billboards. And to me, all you did was cut that together in a hilarious fashion. But it's like, she said all these things. So it's like, if you're mad at anyone, be mad at yourself for lacking self-awareness and lacking the ability to be humble. Because yes, she's a beautiful woman, but like, you can't be that arrogant and cocky when you're that good looking. You have to have some humility. You can't go around saying you're special and better than everyone else. You have better blood. Your proportions are perfect.
Your tits are perkier.
Your tits are perfect. You're more fertile than everyone. It's like, come on, man. You gotta be a little humble. You know what I mean? Like we can't all be 10s. I think the better looking you are, the either funnier you have to be, the more down to earth you have to be. You gotta work in a soup kitchen. You gotta balance that out, or else people are gonna dislike you.
That's true. Because it definitely will make people susceptible to being jealous of you. And I think that she thinks that, right? So then she assumes everyone's jealous of her if they ever criticize her. It could never just be that her personality is dog shit and she lacks
Yeah,
self-awareness.
most fertile, the best at everything. So how dare anyone be critical? Colton, thank you for the super chat. Chrissy, do you have anything special planned for Simcast 100? No, we were just talking about that. It's around the corner. I think it's in early November. So I'll have to just try to bring in the big guns, I guess. Junior, thanks for the super chat. How often do women honeypot relationships? Because that seems like a very odd accusation. I agree completely. Like, who would you even know to honeypot them with?
She's absolutely nuts. I mean, if you just all it takes is one click on her tweets and scroll down. Like, look through how she's replying to every person that simps her. She's constantly having melties. She's trying to get other content creators involved, begging people to white knight her. Like, this woman is whack. Like, she is something's wrong up there. She's actually crazy.
Yeah, I just think for her, a little bit of humility would have gone a very long way. And I guess this maybe is the case for a certain type of woman who makes the bulk of their income or the bulk of their validation specifically only from their looks. And maybe
Yeah.
there is insecurity that happens. I mean, we all get older. We all start looking worse and worse. It's literally inevitable for anybody. It's a privilege to grow old. But I notice with women who more specifically make their money and get all their validation from their looks start to get a little edgy on edge as they get a little bit older, because they're like, oh, sometimes you have this moment of like, oh fuck, who am I going to be if I'm not the hot person, if I'm not the perfect big titted angel blood burlesque person, who am I going to be just at 40, like a regular
And that's
person?
why she's stuck in the past. That's why she mentally can't leave that era. And she keeps referring back to, I was on Billboard and magazine. I was a burlesque performer. And it's like literally a photo from like 7 years ago. Like she's that person in high school that's stuck in high school forever. Like a decade later, still talking about their high school all the time, talking about their teachers' names, and like it never ends in her head. So that's why it feels like to her.
Our glory days, right? But yeah, you don't want to hang on to them too tightly.
Yeah, that's essentially what's going on. It's like mentally she's been struggling and stuck in there, so it feels like I'm constantly attacking her, but it's really her self-inflicting damage.
Yeah, good point. Maybe she's, again, I think totally Striesanded herself on this. Made a mountain out of a molehill.
Just like Eliza Blue. Same thing. Same type of person.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wish her the best. I hope she can. And again, being an internet person is not for everyone. If it's not worth your quality of life, no one's forcing you to maintain a Twitter account and respond to people and be online. You can very much log off. Push-ups, thanks for the super chat. In the Bible, the Nephilim are abominations.
Yeah, they're flooded out. That's why Noah's Ark happened.
But
so she would technically be like a demon.
I just hope, like, again, like if you regret your past and it takes you having a kid for you to realize that, like, okay, that happens with a lot of people. It's just part of growing up. But I wouldn't say that that's your fault, Brittany, for making one video in a humorous fashion. Opinionated news guy, I think the start of her issue with Anna is that she tried to grift her comic on the back of Comicsgate and got crickets, yet Anna gets promoted by the bigger CG artists because she became genuine friends with them. Well, that would make a ton of sense. That would explain it.
Yeah, Anna's more popular with the clique that she wants to be popular in. Because Martina is like, I don't know if this is a thing. I'm gonna call it like every woman syndrome. Like when you try to literally be every woman because you're insecure, that's what Martina's doing. Because it's like the superficial version where she has no actual depth in these things. Like she's everything. So she's an alchemist. She's a mathematic teacher, right? She's also burlesque performer, and she's an artist, and it's like you can't be good at all of these things. That literally would not be possible. You can
Who
only
knows?
maintain a certain
Maybe
amount of
she
skills.
is. She's above humanity. Maybe she can be good at more than a few things.
You can be good at multiple things, but the more things you choose, the less good you're going to be at all those things. You're either a generalist or a specialist. So she can't
like
be a professional at all these things.
You can either drive or text on your phone. You cannot do both. I've learned that the hard way. Armagod says, F Martina, WR smart. She clapped back with a fire stream. I think I understood.
She's not okay, but here's the thing. This is why she doesn't. She's not good at her job. She's not good at what she does. She's not a good artist. She was a discount Dita Von Teese. She couldn't even have her own bit. She couldn't do her own costuming. She had to bite off of Dita Von Teese. Her costumes all consist of like sparkly nipple pasty and veil and halo. And she also isn't good at drawing. She's not good at content creation. She's not good at any of these things. I doubt she's good at alchemy either. I think she just says it to like look
what even
cool
is
and
alchemy?
every woman
It
thing.
sounds like something you say to sound smart.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. Like she's not good at what she does.
I just
she's
think
just
of
good at being
people
a
like
victim.
mixing chemicals in a chem class or something, and then like looking for at a graduated cylinder. What's it called? The meniscus. A lot of looking at a meniscus is what I think of when I hear alchemy. Yes, old school chemistry.
But if she were good at what she does, she would create content and she would provide receipts and do all these things, but she can't because she's not good at what she does. That's why her photography art business looks to be failing too, because it's inactive and it's mostly just photos of her. She's too narcissistic, or at least exhibits symptoms of it. So if she were good at what she does, she'd be able to, but she can't. She's not good at what she does. Like build skill,
when
get
you're
better
that
instead of being
beautiful, how can you expect someone that beautiful and perfect to focus on anything other than themselves? I mean, it's really it's a lot of distractions, I think.
She loves math. She loves art. She loves herself. She's an angel.
I barely passed pre-calc. I would suck at alchemy. Oh my goodness. Full Metal Alchemist. You guys are funny.
This applies to all the women too, thinking about it. Like all these women that fall under this category, they're not good at what they do.
Women. Hi, Anna.
Hi. Let's see if it logged me out of everything. Is my mic okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your hair color looks pretty.
You look great. You're perfect.
Yeah.
Back to natural for the.
I like your top.
You might have angel blood. You should check because
I do not have angel blood. I have normal positive blood. I don't know which letter, but they have kits on Amazon where you can do it and it'll tell you what your type is. All I know is that I'm positive because if you are negative, you have to have more shots. So I have positive blood. Thank freaking goodness.
Anna, is there anything we're leaving out? I feel like I tried to go as chronological as I could.
Yeah, I've been watching, but so basically the only interaction I've had with her, I don't even think I've ever been on a stream with her. I was watching, it must have been either Von Klaus's stream or Az's stream with her, because he was doing these interviews with Comicsgate creators. So he did one with your boy Zach, and then he did one with Martina. And if you watch my older videos, my setup used to be over here, so it was at a different angle, and I was moving everything. So I watched the one with Zach, and then I think I watched the one with Martina, and I heard about all of the problems with her artist and her comic. And I honestly felt bad for her. I'm like, wow, that's a shitty situation. Like, it doesn't make much sense with the copyright because it's a comic about her and her persona. And so I'm like, how can this artist be suing you over copyright if it's literally you? So that just didn't make any sense. But I felt bad for her. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, like, I heard that's a shitty situation. Here's one of my friends that's a really good artist. And I think the style that she works in can really vibe with you. Now, this isn't just anyone. This is one of my really like talented friends from college. If you could look up the Dark Crystal like book that they came out with, the Jim Henson Company, the official Jim Henson Company came out with, she was the artist for that book. Mr. H did like he read it and did like the audio version on his channel. And I even told him, I was like, oh, hey, my friend drew that book. So that was the person I was trying to get her in contact with. And she said, thank you. She already found an artist, but she would keep her in mind for later. Only time, to my knowledge, that I've ever spoken to her. I follow her on Twitter and I think other social medias. And then I had seen her tweet something maybe the day or two before the Eliza Blue. And then all of a sudden I'm getting tagged in this thread, but I'm blocked. I can't see who it is. Yeah, so not the official. They came out with like a story. I think it was around the time the show was coming out on Netflix. If you look up the most recent book, my friend is the one that drew it. And that's the person I was trying to get Martina in contact with. But she already had an artist, so
you were doing a good faith effort to help her because you felt bad.
I genuinely felt bad with her. I knew that we had friends in common. And I was like, oh, that really sucks to be in a shitty situation like that. And I had seen the interview she did with Az and a few other, like, we had mutual friends. So I was like, I feel bad. Let me reach out and help her in the little way that I can. And so I get tagged in this thread. And when you're blocked, like you can't see. So I was like, what is this? I'm blocked. People start sending me screenshots and it's her talking shit about me. And this is right when the Eliza Blue is happening with Brittany. And so I posted a screenshot being like, what the heck? Like, I wasn't blocked an hour ago, or like I wasn't blocked recently and now I'm blocked. And I only found out because people were tagging me because she started talking shit about me. And I was like, why? And you guys can go, I don't have the tweet offhand, but it's around the time Eliza Blue. So if you just type in if you go on advanced search on Twitter, type in that Star Wars girl, I posted a screenshot of the fact that she blocked me. And then everyone's like, oh, it's because Brittany did a video on her. I was like, okay. And then I saw the video and I was like, well, I saw like that it was a Martina video. And I'm like, this video is from 4 years ago. I didn't even know Brittany 4 years ago. I'm not responsible for a video Brittany did 4 years ago. I don't really watch.
We're all responsible because we know Brittany.
I didn't even know until recently that Brittany had an issue with shoe on head. Like I love you guys, but I'm like, I don't watch all of your content. I know for a fact you guys don't watch like all of my Star Wars content because you're not interested in that. I didn't even know who Destiny was until, I don't know, I think he was on a Simpcast or he got brought up in a Simpcast super chat. And that's how I found out who he was, because somebody was asking Brittany in a super chat if she was going to talk to Destiny. And I was like, who is that? I don't know this internet. So I talk about Star Wars and I like comic books. So I just thought it was weird. And then ever since then, all I see is like screenshot after screenshot of her just talking shit about me, that I get my cosplay is like Party City.
Oh, yeah, that you go get your photos taken at Sears or something.
Yeah, she's like, Anna gets her photos taken at the mall. And I'm like, she likes to brag about like billboards and magazines, whereas my photographer, Dylan, is a very accomplished photographer. He has done so many covers for magazines, and the girls he shoots are on magazines and on billboards all the time. Dylan is a fantastic photographer, but I think it's what Brittany said about the jealousy thing and like the talking shit about my cosplay. It's like the whole thing is that I'm doing it on a budget. I'm showing it so that way everyone can do it. If you go on Instagram, there's so many like DIY moms or DIY cosplayers for people that don't know how to sew. I do know how to sew and I do that in my videos, but it breaks her narrative if she shows any of that. And then the stuff with art, like I have a degree in art and I work in it still professionally. So just because I don't tweet about it on YouTube because I don't want the people I work for getting harassed doesn't mean I don't do it. And they like to bring up, like, especially her now, the cover that I did a Vampirella cover a few years ago. And I specifically said, this is an ode to my sister who died. This is the style that she liked. My sister, she was really into like cartoons and like, you know, those like classic tattoos, like the pinup girl kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So she liked that, but like with a mix of like cartoon, like Bruce Timm kind of thing. So I did a cover in that style. I never draw in that style. If you see any of the stuff I do, it's very opposite, but they have to say Anna's art sucks because this one drawing she did what, 3 or 4 years ago now. Whereas
Wow.
I live paint all the time, and you can see me freehand painting. Like the last one I did.
So you're constantly painting.
Like free-handed on air, but I'm a terrible artist, right? So it's just, if they really cared about the truth, they would show it. But no, it's like, let's pick these things, give zero context to it, and then just insult. Whereas the level of obsession for someone I've spoken to once, it's so bizarre. And I've asked a few of my friends, because I'm like, did I do something? Like, what is it? And then so Crab Crawler, who's a mutual friend of mine and Brittany, he even was trying to like figure it out. He comes back and he's like, holy shit, like she hates you. I'm not even going to try to bring you up again. I was like, I can't imagine having that much hatred for someone that has literally done nothing to you.
Well, it's because you know Brittany, and that, I guess, that makes you deserving of a lot of hatred.
There can only be one artist, not allowed to have two.
It's bizarre. And like the comments that she gives on like, yeah, okay, so I do cosplay, but she's so much better than me. I'm like, girl, I don't want to be mean, but all you do is wear pasties and like sheer lingerie, and you want to talk shit about my photographer, and you say,
Anna, she's a mom. You can't be critical of her.
Okay, I'm a stepmom. I'm probably going to be a mom in the next 2 years. So now what's your excuse? It's just
painting green screen rooms, Anna. You can't insult her. You can't criticize her.
Somebody sent me a screenshot of like, she posted something on Instagram about Barbie, because I just launched my 3rd calendar and the main character on that was Barbie. And it's like, oh, this something Barbie in it, or I don't know, boho or something Barbie. And it's got the
Barbie.
Yeah, the worst filter ever. And then people are sending screenshots of the comments, and it's just talking shit about me, calling me Ben Shapiro and Brittany. And I'm like, didn't you just have a baby? Like, you want to hide behind your baby, yet all this time when your baby is a newborn, when it needs the most attention, you're on Twitter and Instagram all day talking shit about, well, me that you've only spoken to once in, 4 or 5 years that I've been on the internet like this, and Brittany how many times? It's so bizarre. I feel bad for the baby. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, I'm so happy it's a boy, because if that were a girl, it would be over. It'd be mommy dearest IRL.
I don't know, man. It's, if she spent as much time focusing on her kid as she does you and I mean,
in great shape. Yeah,
that would be the most loved child ever, but it really kind of worries me.
Wasa Beast says the chat agrees that bikini mud wrestling is the way to settle the Brittany Martina beef.
Don't worry, she's done her own. She has the one where she covers herself in milk or whatever. It's like the white substance, and she's naked and she pours it all over her body. Yeah, before she was pregnant. Her corrupted breast milk.
Anna, can you cosplay as Lady Alchemy next?
No. No. I returned the block. I haven't spoken about her. I haven't tweeted about her. She wants to complain because I tweeted about the video. The only reason I tweeted the video was because I posted a screenshot of her being blocked. I see however many more tweets of her talking shit about me, and everyone is telling me it's because of this video. I'm like, what fucking video? I've never seen this video. I just met Brittany that year. And so I'm like, okay, so a video that I haven't seen from 4 years ago, and I posted, I was like, so this is why she hates me over a video I haven't even seen. And that's why I tweeted it.
Yeah.
Heck, now I'm just like, I'm glad if it wasn't for the baby, I probably would have gone a little bit harder at her. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore you, because you should be focusing on your baby. You want to cry online over and over again about your baby. Bitch, you're talking to people that made fun of the fact my sister died, and you're making fun of my pain. Like, so you want me to give you sympathy because you had a baby, when you're literally making fun of the tragedy that my family had to endure, and laughing about it with people that literally mocked me for years about it. You have zero sympathy from me. I hope everyone in the world sees that video and laughs at it.
Yeah, honestly, because that's really messed up, and it's the lack of self-awareness. There's a lack of empathy, And she never wants to be held responsible for anything, including what happens when she opens her own legs, whether that be from lap dancing and burlesque or having a child. She doesn't want to be held responsible. So she operates this way, in this very like low empathy, low emotional intelligence way. The highest,
maybe if you hadn't caused all those miscarriages, Brittany, maybe it wouldn't have been like this.
Yeah. And I'm also responsible for her newborn too.
Absolutely nothing to do with her age, her lifestyle, what she eats, what she drinks.
Her being a negative blood type.
She's a smoker. Well, yeah, I watched your most recent video on it, and I saw girls in the comments saying that they have that same blood type, and it causes like it's really hard to conceive. So it's like, oh, and I saw something about how she's like, oh, Brittany just doesn't understand this is a persona. It's like, it's not a persona if you live by it, and like, this is the hill you're gonna die on. Like, this is fact, not fiction.
Yeah, it's 100% a self-insert. I wish I could have shared the glory of her comic, her spending entire pages dedicated to glorifying herself as golden Jesus, but there was constant nudity and very explicit scenes, like nuns sticking dildos in each other's ass. So I couldn't, but like a lot of her comic is about glorifying this self-insert character, where it's to the point where the villains are complimenting her about her smell and how amazing she is. It's very cringeworthy.
Maybe some people enjoyed it. Who knows? K-Max, just one other person reminds me here. Oh, reminds me of her. BX Bull, I think her name was. She appeared once on Zimcast. Yes, she did. And then went nuclear on Brittany and Chrissie. Was BX a similar case to Martina? That was another one that confused me.
Yeah, it is a similar case in multiple aspects. Former sex worker, she went and lied, said that it was just cosplay. I think it was on Anna's show where she lied about it after she was invited on as a guest. And then afterwards, she copy struck me because I posted the receipt for it. I censored it, but I posted the receipt for it. She copy struck my Twitter
account. Was it like nude photos? How was it sex work?
It was like very explicit lewd photos. It wasn't cosplay at all.
Oh, that
like
was
for
selling,
the majority
right?
of it. Yeah, that she was selling. And then on the same page where she's promoting her OF, right? She starts to do predator hunting when she has a young daughter. And she's showing this young daughter on camera on the same page where all these coomers are coming in, all these predators that she's also hunting down, because she used to hunt down predators like they're pedos. So she's having all that traffic come in and then promoting her child, and then doing the same thing as Martina and using her kid as a shield. When she got into the beef with Destiny too, used her kid as a shield. Same thing. Look, I have a daughter, puts her on camera. Same, like, I open my legs and you have to be responsible for it bullshit, and ashamed of her sex worker past instead of just owning up to it. It's the same archetype. Very similar situation.
Jacob Bratton, Anna is the upgrade to Martina Facts. Oh, well, I'm very partial to Anna. So I think I'm trying to tie this up with a nice little bow. I mean, Brittany, at this point, is it even interesting to talk about her anymore? I feel like you've kicked over every stone. I feel like you've sort of done what you could do as far as airing out her kind of inconsistencies, her foibles, whatever, and you've made it entertaining for some. Some people are like, "Oh, you went too far." But what are your thoughts? Like,
for
the
anybody that
you have now.
For anyone who thinks I went too far, I would say trying to deplatform someone, by encouraging someone who deplatformed you and defending them by replying to people saying, report the video for harassment, and then saying, yeah, but she has YouTube connections and it won't work. She wants to take my video down. She literally supposedly pro-free speech, complains about getting canceled constantly, tries to take away my livelihood, is for taking it away, accuses me of abuse, spouts libel multiple times, as cited in my video, the recent one, and brought up on the live streams that followed up with it, with her meltdown that she continued to have, so I covered it. And she also tried reputation destruction. She tried to go to Chrissie, cry to her like she's my mom, tried to go to Lauren Southern, tried to go to many people, trying to do guilt by association. You heard Anna's story. There's no confusion here. And you saw the graph with how many times she tweeted about me. She uploaded 4 videos about me. To this day, I've only made 2 videos about her. And I did follow-up streams because she kept having meltdowns, kept spouting libel, and I had to address it. And now I'm on here talking about it because she dragged Chrissie into it, and as well as Anna. So it's very crystal clear who is the crazy unhinged one here. This isn't just an innocent bystander getting bullied. She actively puts other women down constantly to promote herself, whether it's me, Anna, Mary Morgan, whoever else. She's on her husband's account, in my opinion, posting tweets after tweets, insulting people, shaming them, guilt by association. This is an unhinged woman. So it's very clear. It's become more clear after all of this. Like, she's actually more insane than I initially thought. It's actually surprising. Like, I knew she would have a meltdown, but I didn't know it would be this extensive, to the point where even if I take several day breaks, she's pulling like Pearl into it to defend her because she can't defend herself, and being very manipulative, crying about how she's the victim and then insulting me and my appearance, etc. So she's just very unhinged, and it's become very apparent throughout all of this.
She goes out of her way to like just bring up anyone about it. It's like, instead of just focusing on herself, her child, her career, the only time she gets any attention on Twitter is when she's talking shit about you or about me, or I don't know, the Mary Morgan girl, but that's the only time. So it's one of those troll things where they won't stop because that's the only time they get attention. It's the same thing that's going on with like Eric July and all of his Rippaverse detractors. If they tweet about anything that's not Rippa, they don't get any attention. So for someone that is narcissistic, they're going to do what can get them attention, and playing the victim is a big part of that. Like, again, like, I would understand if I did something to her, but I didn't. Like, she's mad at you because you made a video, right?
Yeah, it was even more unwarranted with you. I mean, she spouted libel with me, and that's pretty serious, and calling me an abuser and all that. But with you, it was very apparent to me that it was jealousy because of the factors that you do what she does, but better, and you're successful at it. And she seems to be jealous. And also, you didn't even dignify her. You were just minding your own business, but guilt by association, I guess, justifies it for her.
I don't know if she thinks that all you do is think about her, because you would never talk to me about her. You've never brought it.
No.
Again, I didn't know about your video with Shoe on Head until Sean told me about it. Because I don't know. I think we were talking about memes right when you were getting ready for whatever. And Sean and I were talking, and that's when he's like, "Oh, you didn't know about the thing with Brittany and Shoe?" I was like, "No, I only found out who Shoe was like last year."
But look what she doesn't do what Martina did. Shoe improved her life, focused on herself, made the right decisions, and now she's better off. She's happily engaged in a lot healthier of a relationship. She has more perspective. She learned a lot, and she was able to like be friendly with me too, and reach out to me and was like, yeah, you know, some things were true, and like we were able to become friendly. And that didn't happen with Martina. Look at the two different paths that you can take. You can take the Shoe path, where she actually self-improved and like looked at herself, or you can be Martina and be oblivious and blame everyone else for your problems, so you can be a perpetual victim.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you have someone that, it's like, you're a human being. Nobody is perfect, and people make mistakes. If it was one of those things where it's like, oh, this is just my sense of humor, I'm playing a character online, this is my persona, which I thought at first that kind of was the thing, because she's a burlesque dancer, and she has this character and it's herself. So it's like, okay, maybe it's that internet, like, this is my character online kind of thing, which is obviously not.
Yeah. It's a very heavy self-insert. She even admits that in one of the interviews. I think it was the As interview. I'm not sure, 100% sure if it was that one, but I think it was that one where she admits it.
Well, when I watched your second video, in the part that you had where or maybe it was your live stream, where it's, oh, go vote for me to be on the cover of this magazine. I deserve to be way more than all these other girls. And at the time I clicked on it, because I was like, oh, okay, I'll help her out. And I looked at it and I'm like, all of these photos are good. Or like most of them, the ones that I remember, were good. So it's like, just putting other people down to put yourself down. I really don't see other normal people doing that. I see narcissistic people doing it.
People with no skill do that because they don't have anything else. She's not good at what she does. Like I said,
oh my God, this is a joke. Martina was my insurance adjuster for my accident. I don't know. That sounds funny if it's a joke. Patriots. Maybe she had a bad summer It is bizarre too. I know. And a lot of people who are saying, oh God, I don't like this drama. Look, I really tried to mind my own business on this topic for like the better part of this year, but the amount of messages and tweets were getting so out of control. I had to do this stream with Brittany and kind of lay out the timeline, and it helped that Anna was here too to add in some more details.
Well,
I don't plan on covering her or talking about her ever again. I don't, unless she does something. No, I really don't see,
well,
unless
this
she
is the most attention she's gotten in a long
yeah,
time.
and that would make sense
So
that why she would wanna associate with Pearl if she's looking for just attention,
Mm.
but I don't plan on covering or talking about her ever again. I don't really find her that interesting anymore, so I just had to kinda get this out of the way so people would get off my dick about, like, "You have to talk to Brittany about it." So it's like, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I saw I don't remember. I think it was Brittany's tweet about it that I was tagged in, and then somebody saying like, "Anna, don't get involved," or like, "Don't let them pull you into this." And I was like, "Pull me into what?" Like, Martina pulled me into it. Like, Brittany didn't have anything to do. Brittany doesn't involve anyone outside of the people that are actually involved in it. When it's other
Right.
people, like Martina got me involved in it. I had nothing to do with the situation. I had seen a video until Martina blocked me and started talking shit. But then I saw Frank defending me, and this guy's like, well, you need to prove that Anna didn't initiate it or something like that. I'm like, there's nothing for him to prove because I didn't do anything to her. The only interaction we've ever had was a private DM where I sent her a link to an artist.
Yeah, and also her and her husband calling Frank evil, so out of line. The DMs that they both sent to him, so out of line. Literally, he has nothing to fucking do with the drama. That's when I lost a lot of respect, honestly, for the two of them. I was just like, y'all are fucking insane and Streisanding yourselves. So it is what it is. Yeah. Just if you want to focus on your family, then do that. Then fucking get off Twitter. That's what I would say.
She won't. She's addicted to attention.
And playing the victim at this point when all she's done is attack other people.
Yeah. And also,
anyway.
like, speaking of dragging into people into it, by the way, she also, Martina blocked, I mentioned this in the video, but she blocked my significant other, Sean, Think Before You Sleep in chat. And she also blocked my mods, my YouTube mods. Like, she was thorough. She was blocking everyone. So she will block anyone, drag anyone into it.
How does she know who your YouTube mods are?
I don't even know. Maybe because she saw them type in chat and then she like went and searched their Twitter. I don't know. Like in my chat.
You think it was like a blockchain of everyone that follows you?
Maybe. People are saying she blocked everyone that associated with me, like automatically. But I don't know if that's true. Or she manually did it.
One of the unsolved mysteries of our time. Brittany, what's coming up for you this week?
Today's Monday. Well,
wait, technically Tuesday.
Monday here still.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm getting more candles from Reed Street Soap. They make excellent candles. I helped design some of them. This is the Haunted Campfire. It smells like marshmallows, and it's really good. It glitters and glows in the dark. You can't see it because you have to turn the lights off to see, and then blow the candle out to see it glow in the dark. But it's on the website, which is here, reedsoap.shop. And Michelle's been doing a great job at designing the candles and the Halloween soaps as well. So I recommend you guys go check it out. And I'll be getting new ones to smell and talk about this week. So that's coming up. I'm working on another video. If you guys have topics that you want me to cover, by the way, let me know in like the YouTube community tab on my channel. And let's see. And I'm middle of moving. So that's about it for what's going on.
Do you know what kind of wax is in the candles? Whether it's like soy or paraffin or coconut?
Yeah, she usually puts everything in the description. I believe it's soy. Because she has to do things in a certain way to get certain colors.
Okay.
To stay long term. So we've been doing a lot of experimenting. That's why I've had to burn through a lot of the candles so we know what wicks to get, we know what wax to get, etc. But I'm pretty sure it's soy. And she puts it in the description. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay, cool. Anna, what's coming up for you?
Nothing much. Just
I enjoyed your fiance stream with Keanu very much. I hope you keep doing those.
Yeah, what me and Keanu are gonna do wedding updates. I'm gonna get back to sending out my save the dates and getting all of that done. But
oh right, you have a lot of work to do.
So that is what is on the plate for me. I've gotten a lot of stuff from my calendar coming in, and I'm getting ready to start fulfillment for that. So you guys, it's still available, so you guys can go pick that up. I might do a stream later this week, or maybe I just will show it on the Jack Show. But a lot of my posters have come in, so I'm packaging up all of those. So I might not be as active on YouTube, but that's because I'm trying to get ready to fulfill this next calendar, and then diving straight into intense wedding planning. But I did do a very long stream today on Twitch, and I might, once I'm done with my save the date packaging, do a painting stream later on Twitch. So stay tuned for that. Remember, I'm a terrible artist.
It's horrible, the worst.
If you want your eye painted by me, you can, or you want to watch me paint eyes, you can go follow me on my Twitch and watch my terrible art stream.
Terrible art, terrible cosplaying. It's all terrible. Push-ups says Frank's not evil. He's filing cabinet. He's the best. He's the absolute best. And again, here is the website breedsoap.shop. You can get the haunted campfire glittery.
It's made of natural soy wax and soy wax dye, fragrance oil, and biodegradable glitter. Those are all the ingredients. She's very particular about the ingredients to try to make it healthy and like minimal as possible while keeping it pretty and artistic.
It looks super. It looks pretty minimal with the ingredients and glitter. Okay, guys, thank you for watching our stream. No more drama after today. I'm done until the next thing.
She's gonna 100% have another melty.
I hope maybe she needs magnesium. I don't know. I hope she gets well soon. Thank you to everybody in the chat for your comments and questions, and we will see you guys next time. What's coming up this week for me? I think I have some interviews. Yes. Today, Tuesday. I have Ben Bankus tomorrow at 5, Chandler Remington at 9, and Wednesday I have Shad Brooks on the channel. And yes, FNT on Friday. Maybe a couple more.
What time is your Chandler one? I like Chandler a lot.
Oh, Chandler tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
AM?
Eastern, PM.
Okay, cool.
Thank you guys. We will see you next time.
Thanks for having me, Chrissy.